This didn't make any sense to her. How did a melody that she had locked down over the summer, last summer, suddenly appear on Jennifer Lopez's album? This was something that really bothered her.
You've probably heard all the whispers about Beyoncé and Jennifer Lopez pushing other artists out of the spotlight, but what if I told you they didn't just push? They snatched a whole career that was supposed to belong to Mariah Carey. Not by mistake, not by chance. We're talking cold, calculated moves. Allegedly, these two powerhouses slid right into the space Mariah built. And according to some very juicy claims, even Mariah's hinting at it herself. This tea's about to get scorching, so buckle up because things are about to get messy. Let's be real. Mariah owned the 90s. She wasn't just singing hits. She was writing them, producing them, and shaping her own image like a boss. And this was in an era where the industry barely let women, especially women of color, have that kind of control. She had the mystery, the glamour, the crossover appeal. She was the formula. Period. Now rewind the tapes and you'll catch a young Beyoncé absolutely losing it over Mariah.
Mariah Carey's voice comes from God. You can hear the gospel in her voice. It's very nice to see her in the church. The whole message in the video was just Vision of Love was one of the first songs I heard when I was a kid, where I heard all of these riffs. And I was like, how does she do that? In this little short amount of times, the amount of notes she could squeeze in that one little bar, 2 bars, was fascinating to me. And that's kind of when I started trying it. And it's something that I love to do in my music, but she completely inspired me.
She wasn't out here name-dropping Whitney or Aretha in the same breath. Nope, it was Mariah all day. She once said Vision of Love was the spark that lit her fire for singing. That's not just praise, that's a whole confession. There's video receipts too. Beyoncé back in the day literally fangirling over Mariah's range like she was in church catching the Holy Spirit. Mariah Carey's voice comes from God, she said. And that ain't just a quote, that's a whole sermon. Something definitely shifted between Mariah and Beyoncé, because out of nowhere, all that praise and fangirl energy just vanished. Some folks believe Beyoncé started feeling like she'd leveled up, like she wasn't just inspired by Mariah anymore. She was above her. Let's not kid ourselves. Mariah's legacy? Untouchable vocally. But the media doesn't treat her like MJ or Prince. Nope. They box her in as the high-maintenance diva who shows up every December in stilettos and a Santa dress. Meanwhile, Bey's out here crafting a legacy like she's aiming to be the female Prince, a cultural architect who moves the needle on every front. Visuals, sound, style, and power. And if that's the crown Beyoncé wants, then maybe Mariah doesn't fit the picture she's painting anymore. That's what people have been whispering. But here's where it gets juicy. Some say Beyoncé's rise wasn't just talent and hard work. There are whispers that she, along with her husband's industry pull, strategically shifted the spotlight away from Mariah. Allegedly, it wasn't shade, it was chess. Behind-the-scenes connections, moving pieces to elevate Beyoncé's empire while slowly sidelining Mariah's reign. That's how this game gets played. The ones who cozy up to the right execs, they climb. And those who don't play the game, or refuse to bow down, get left behind, no matter how much raw talent they have.
How did that J.Lo record actually happen? You wrote the song for yourself, or you wrote it for J.Lo?
I wrote it for J.Lo.
Which brings us to Jennifer Lopez. Let's talk about that wild card. While Beyoncé's rise was one thing, J.Lo popped up just as suddenly. Beautiful? Absolutely. Stylish? No doubt. But vocally? She's not even breathing the same air as Mariah. Yet somehow, she ends up with blockbuster movies, chart-topping hits, fashion lines, fragrances, and a Super Bowl halftime show. Like, how did that happen? We might not have hard proof that Beyoncé was teaming up with J.Lo to sabotage Mariah, but when it comes to this next part, the facts are loud and clear. Back when Mariah was in the middle of all that drama with her ex, Tommy Mottola, she was filming Glitter and working on her song Loverboy. She had locked in a sample from Yellow Magic Orchestra's 1978 track Firecracker. It was hers. Secured. Done. But then, out of nowhere, boom! That exact same melody shows up on J.Lo's album first. The gag is, Mariah hadn't even released hers yet. Now, J.Lo had some fame already from In Living Color. But let's keep it real. She wasn't breaking into music easy. Why? Because she didn't have the vocals, and Broadway wasn't an option either. No real acting chops. no real singing range.
There are rivalries, but I don't think she has anything to do with me. I mean, my whole thing is singing, writing songs.
An actress.
Yeah, and I've been doing this, my whole life. Singing is first and foremost. It's a God-given talent that I'm grateful for. Her thing is something different.
Enter Tommy Mottola, Mariah's ex-husband. Their marriage was crumbling, and so was her contract with Sony. Mariah wanted out, but Tommy wasn't about to let her walk away clean. To mess with her, he straight up handed that firecracker sample, Mariah's sample, to J.Lo. He literally shelved Mariah's version of Loverboy and rushed out J.Lo's version instead. And let's be honest, J.Lo wasn't clueless. She played along like a pro. Mariah later broke it all down in her book, The Meaning of Mariah Carey, saying everything that went wrong with Glitter, it traced right back to Tommy. He was bitter, vengeful, and used every connection he had to block her shine. He wasn't gonna let Mariah, or her movie, win after she walked away from him and Sony. Mariah wrote, "There was no way he would allow me to have a huge success after leaving him and Sony. After hearing my new song using the same sample, Sony rushed to make a single for another female entertainer on that label, whom I don't know." And that line right there, whom I don't know, iconic. 'Cause y'all remember the moment, right? When Mariah was asked her thoughts on other female singers, she gave Beyoncé her flowers, calling her sweet and a talented writer. But when they brought up J.Lo, Mariah hit him with the coldest line in pop culture history. "I don't know her." Whew, that line still stings like fresh tea every time it comes up. Back in 2002, Mariah sat down on Larry King Live. And when Larry asked her if there was any beef between her and Jennifer Lopez, Mariah didn't hold back. She hit with the coldest clapback. There's no competition if the other person can't sing. Whew, that shade was lethal. And she wasn't done. When people started whispering about J.Lo maybe not even singing her own songs, Mariah fed that fire too. In a Talk magazine interview, J.Lo once bragged about getting a full 8 hours of sleep every night. Mariah's response? Savage. "If I had the luxury of not having to sing my own songs, darling, I'd do that too, honey." Oof, that was straight from the diva playbook. But here's the thing. Mariah wasn't just throwing darts for fun. That rumor about J.Lo not actually singing, it's been around for years, and it didn't come out of nowhere. Take the song I'm Real, for example. J.Lo dropped it in September 2001, and it was a hit from her second album, J.Lo. But here's the twist. Ashanti came out and said that song was supposed to be hers. She didn't even know why it got snatched away. Turns out, Irv Gotti, who had signed Ashanti to Murder Inc., handed the track over to J.Lo instead. And get this, the original track already had Ashanti's vocals on it, fully recorded and mixed. Allegedly, J.Lo couldn't quite hit those notes, so they left Ashanti's background vocals in the final version. Yup, that's why when you listen close, it still sounds like Ashanti in the background, because it is. Now here's where it all ties together. I'm Real was reportedly first meant for Mariah. Then it got passed down to Ashanti. And Irv Gotti has said on record that Tommy Mottola, the same ex-husband who had it out for Mariah, told him to hand the track to J.Lo just to get under Mariah's skin. That's not just drama, that's industry-level sabotage. It's like they knew Ashanti would never play dirty with Mariah, so instead, they used J.Lo to pull it off. And I'm Real wasn't the only track caught up in this mess. Did you know Ashanti also wrote the lyrics for Ain't It Funny? Yup, she wrote it. She sang the chorus and even dropped ad-libs all over that track. J.Lo just had to slide into the studio, lay down some vocals, and take all the credit like it was hers from the jump. But wait, it gets worse. J.Lo almost swiped What's Love 2. And the person who spilled that tea? Joe himself. He said Irv Gotti and Ja Rule hit him up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., telling him to come to the studio. He gets there and they play What's Love and say, "Yo, this is for you and J.Lo. We want the Latinos on this." The gag? They already gave it to Ashanti. And J.Lo? She knew. She knew the track was Ashanti's, and still was ready to take it without a blink. That's wild. Ashanti's been quiet for years, but recently she finally spoke out about the shady way she was treated. In an interview with Metro UK, she said, "You should always care about credit for what you do, regardless of what industry you're in. It's really important to give credit, especially nowadays because things are so smoke and mirrors. It's frustrating." She said people were shocked when they finally found out the truth, but she's thankful the word's been spreading. And when asked how it felt watching someone else, like J.Lo, get praised for work that wasn't theirs, Ashanti kept it real. It's weird because obviously you get frustrated for not getting credit, but then that turns into something you get admired for. And that's just one case, because truth be told, there's a long list of artists, especially Black artists, who've allegedly had their work taken, reused, or erased by J.Lo. And let's be honest, Beyoncé's name has come up in those same kinds of conversations too. So now the word on the street is Mariah Carey might finally be ready to spill it all. Like for real this time. No more hints, no more cryptic quotes. We're talking the truth behind the sabotage, the stolen songs, the shady backdoor deals, and yep, even the silent parts Beyoncé and J.Lo allegedly played in the whole thing. Sources close to the diva say she's cooking something up behind the scenes. Could be a part 2 to her memoir, a bombshell documentary, or maybe she's just sitting back, waiting for the right moment to drop the mic and break the internet. And if that happens, we might finally get some real answers to the rumors that have been swirling for decades. Like, was J.Lo just a willing pawn in the glitter sabotage? Did Beyoncé really pull away from Mariah because she didn't fit her brand anymore? Or did the industry simply label Mariah as too much, too emotional, too raw, too real, and move their money elsewhere? Whatever it is, one thing's for sure, it's gonna be messy, and we're here for every second of it. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. This convo is far from over. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next round of tea. See you in the next one. Oh.